We are live. Welcome to the I'm having technical difficulties. Excuse me. The 2026 All Sports Matters Fantasy Draft Mock Special. It's not the fantasy draft, it's the NFL draft. I'm all discombobulated. Uh, we up early, we in early, and we're going to try to discuss some things I don't like looking at myself twice. So I'm going to eliminate one of these windows I got on my screen. Um, that is a me problem. Uh, I am not alone. I am your host. Before I go to my brothers, I am your host, Amir Sharaz Ortiz, aka Mr. All Sports Matter himself, Poppy Ortiz 02 on Instagram and Twitter. Um, Welcome. I know we've been gone for a little while. Life has bitten some of us in the buttocks, uh, but we're here. We are here to speak some football. The actual draft is 3 days away, this Thursday in Pittsburgh, uh, which sucks for them because I think they're going to have some bad weather, so hopefully they're not outside the whole time. But those are diehard fans, and I'm pretty sure they won't mind it. Bring it on to the stage, Mr. 334 himself, Mr. Tennessee Titan fan, Fleck Moore.
What it do, bro? What it do?
I was just trying to grab me something to drink before we started, and all of a sudden it was like, bam, I'm on screen.
Got me some of that old HTO.
Yeah, no, I've been a little bit dehydrated the last few days. No alcohol. I just want to throw that out there. No alcohol last few days. Just trying to get whatever crud is out of my system. But fourth pick of the draft.
It's the grass. It's the grass.
The draft will eventually get to you. Are you excited about your team's draft prospects this year?
I think we're going to come away with a blue chip, whether it's on offense or defense is to be determined. But if we can get Love, Bailey, or Reese, one of the three, I guess I'd be okay with it. I want Love, though. I ain't going to lie. I want Love. I think he has the ability to take that offense in Tennessee to another level.
These last few days, the mock drafts has been literally all over the place.
All over the place, yeah. I've been seeing where Love might go 3 to the Cardinals. Yeah, it's been all over the place.
Outside of the number one pick, everything else seems to be up in arms.
Yeah.
Speaking of up in arms, Mr. JB, Mr. Producer, he is like he's just dropping some cuts down on some tracks on the R&B style looking self. JB, what's going on?
I'm up in arms. That's what I'm looking militant. Man, look. I'm just happy we about to be back with some NFL. I don't know what's happening with the NBA, but it's got on my nerves. So I'm happy we back with some NFL. Let's go.
Hey, we got we thought the NBA was going to be cut and dry. You know, first round usually simple, right? When it comes to the NBA playoffs,
it is.
I guess not. But we're not talking about the playoffs. We're not talking about baseball, which has been pretty much a mess. If you're a New York Mets fan, just want to
Yankees fan.
No, they're still in first place and the best record in the American League, so they're okay. Okay, it also helps that the rest of the American League is kind of struggling right now. But in the NL side, you know, the Atlanta Braves are doing very well. But nobody's better than the Dodgers. But we're not here for that. We can talk all day. Well, I could talk all day about baseball. Y'all know that. I don't need no notes for that. I can just spew it out. But before we start giving y'all some picks, we had a trade just 2 or 3 days ago. The Giants traded Dexter Lawrence to the Cincinnati Bengals for the number 10 pick of the draft, which pretty much disturbed mock drafts across the board because now the Giants now have 2 picks in the top 10. and they have a luxury choice of picks. Tell me, was that the right move for the Cincinnati Bengals to make?
Nope, I think they got fleeced.
Did you?
A top 10 pick for a 29-year-old defensive tackle. I mean, he still got 3 years left on his contract. But, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, he can't protect the quarterback, so.
Well, yeah, but that defense in Cincinnati wasn't stopping nothing either last year.
That's true. That's true.
So
the line on both sides.
In that regard, like I like the move. It's just the compensation for such move was a little pricey for me.
Yeah, I get it.
They did extend them. 2 years left on the contract, 20 years, $20 million per year, and they got extended 1 year. I believe it was 25 or 28. 28? 25. Either way.
Yeah,
Dexter
1 year,
Lawrence,
28 mil.
Dexter Lawrence is now a member of the Cincinnati no-name defense. My question to the panel before we get to the draft itself, and I will step away briefly. I got to get my charge from my tablet here. But are we expecting a lot of trades draft day? And by who? JB?
You know, I do see on day one, I can see at least 4 trades happening. I do think that the Cardinals will jump back in to get a quarterback. I think it's a couple of different teams. I do see a team trading out of the first round. I can see someone like a New England trading out of the first round, or a Kansas City trading out of the first round
with their last picks, right?
Yeah, with the last picks.
Yeah, I can also see a scenario where Dallas packages their 2 picks to trade up, because I'm hearing that they're like high on Styles out of Ohio State, who's projected to be at least a top 5 pick right now.
Yep, that part too.
But who would trade out though?
That's the thing. Like, I think if there's a scenario where Bailey's gone and maybe Love is gone for Tennessee, I could see them trading down. I like Reese, but I don't know how high Nashville is on him, or the Titans decision makers are. I could see the Cardinals trading out of 3 if they get the right package, because I mean they're all over the place with their mocks too. I'm hearing Love, I'm hearing offensive tackle, I'm hearing edge. If it's an offensive tackle that they're going after, I can see them trading out of 3, trading down, picking up some more picks, and still getting a good offensive tackle, because I think like right now there's projected like 7 offensive tackles that could go in the first round.
Yeah, I think we had that many, 6 or 7. If I'm being honest, I didn't count them. Hell, I got them. I got them picking the Miami offensive tackle in the first round, jumping up that high to 3 and picking up Munguia for Miami. That's not our selection, but that's who I had.
But for the Cardinals?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but I can see a scenario where if all the tackles that they have similar grades on their board, trading out of 3, trading back to 12, and still picking up a nice offensive tackle, and also picking up 12 and 20 from the Cowboys, and taking 20 and using that for Ty Simpson, the quarterback. I can see a case where, a scenario where that happens.
Yeah, picking up the next available offensive tackle at 12, and then at 20, picking up Ty Simpson. Yeah,
I can see them doing that.
Yeah. I think this is one of the most. It's going to be one of the most unpredictable drafts that we can see. I think the last one that was unpredictable was the one that they took like 7 quarterbacks in the first round. Was that one because everybody was just reaching for a quarterback. But outside of that, this is literally where there's a lot of talent coming out of Ohio State, a lot of talent coming out of Miami, uh, Texas Tech,
Also,
Texas A&M. You know,
if you're in the market for a tackle, edge, or receiver, then this is probably the draft that we're going to see a lot of those going in the first few rounds, first couple of rounds. A lot
yeah,
of tackles, a lot of edges, a lot of receivers.
I definitely don't. I won't put it past anybody. That's why I asked originally who's going to make those trades, because obviously I think the one wild card is going to be who really wants Ty Simpson, and it's probably going to be late first round. Anybody can trade back in and pick up Ty Simpson, kind of like what the
Giants did last year with Jackson Dart.
Yep. My microphone keeps unplugging here, but either way, yeah, just like the Giants did, and if we're being honest, that trade was a great trade for the Giants. They're pretty much set up. So let's just get it out the way. Number one, we know it's going to go down to the Heisman, right?
Yeah, we definitely Mendoza hands on number one.
The
The draft starts at 2.
The only question here is, does anybody give up 2 firsts or 3 firsts to jump up that much to the first pick?
Even if they did, I don't see the Raiders trading out. I think this is where they can't get cute with this one. They got to go in if they feel like Mendoza's their guy. They got to go ahead and draft him, no matter the cost or or whatever's being thrown at them. Go ahead and get your quarterback. Get your young quarterback. They've already done a lot to put pieces around him. Via free agency. Got a mentor in Kirk Cousins to teach him the ropes. Go get your guy. Don't get cute with it. Get your guy.
I definitely agree with that. While we're still getting set up here for the rest of the picks, I think we'll open it up just a little bit longer for the first pick. Does he start week 1, or does them signing Kirk Cousins?
If you spend the number 1 pick on him and he don't start week 1, everybody need to be fired.
No, they don't.
No,
I don't agree with that.
Not necessarily.
I don't agree with that at all. You go out and you get a veteran like Kirk Cousins and, sit Mendoza for a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Maybe even the first month, you know what I'm saying? First couple of months to get him acclimated, unless he just comes in the preseason and lights it up. Now, if he comes in the preseason and light it up, then, that's where you have to start in week 1. But you go out and get a Kirk Cousins so you don't have to rush the young guy into the fire. I wish Tennessee, honestly, last year would have had somebody like that for Cam Ward, so they wouldn't have to rush that young quarterback in.
Because Cam Ward was a lot better late.
He actually
had
I agree.
He had a rough start to that season.
I agree.
They had no other option.
They had no other option. You know what I'm saying? And I think I remember at the time I was saying, hey, they should call the Giants and ask, hey, is Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston available?
Right.
Somebody they can start for the first few weeks to, give Cam Ward a chance to learn behind. But no,
I think it's honestly, we're trying to, as we get settled here, I'm gonna do this really quick. As I get myself going, we're going to put it on the board here. The Raiders select Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana, with the first overall pick. That's a no-brainer. The only thing that we're not necessarily worried about, but thinking about, is does a team trade up to Las Vegas first pick, right? That's the only thing.
Again, like I said, I think Las Vegas, of course they're going to answer the phone, but I don't see a scenario where they actually trade out. Unless they fall in love with a quarterback that they think is going to come out next year, and I just don't see it. You don't get cute. Go get your guy.
Right.
This guy.
JB, are we agreeing?
Mendoza is the number one. Yes, that's a consensus across the board, across everybody's board right now.
Yeah, we
But y'all ain't like the one that said all sports matter.
now, mind you, now for those out there I'm just going back and forth because I do have a very, very, very small Twitch following. So we've just been going back and forth, making sure we are live on Twitch, we are live on YouTube, and we are live on Facebook. So yes, Raiders select Mendoza. At this point, that's a no-brainer. Are the Raiders competitive with Mendoza? Do you think with the moves they made in the offseason, with the defensive moves that they and keeping Crosby, mind you, that drama that was Max Crosby, do they compete in the West with Mendoza?
It just depends. Because, like I said, if I'm the Raiders, I'm giving Kirk Cousins the keys the first few weeks. So, you know what I'm saying? It depends on what Mendoza looks like in the preseason. If he comes in and he's lighting it up in the preseason, I don't see them benching him. But I mean, if he struggles in the preseason, then you got Kirk. That's why you brought Kirk Cousins in.
Yeah. I mean, I can see them getting better. They can't get much worse, but I can definitely see him getting better with him starting with all of the pieces that they brought in and adding in Crosby back into the mix with that defense that they brought in and having a new head coach. I do think that they get better from where they were last year, and let's take into account who that head coach is, because they got somebody who is offensive minded and who's going to draw things up specifically for Mendoza and has been doing so since he took the job. So I think he's going to come in ready to get that situation going, and it's going to be up a little bit. They're going to be able to compete somewhat in the West, but it's still the West, and the West is still daunting.
So mind you, for the people out there, we are going with the picks that were top rated, the picks that were made between the four brothers, the four panelists. A lot of this was a consensus. A lot of us, or one of us, was off a little bit. So we gotta also keep in mind.
I mean,
we will not take into account actual trades until trades are made, and we're going to assume that trades will be made within the next hour. So let's just not.
I don't know why he keeps muting himself, y'all, but
Mike keeps coming up.
I got a new mic cable. I guess this thing is just.
Oh my goodness! Look, we need to.
Me knocking on wood.
You know what? We gonna start selling merch, y'all, because let me just put this out there. All Sports Matter is a brand, and we want to bring y'all this high quality content every week. So we gonna start selling merch. So y'all go ahead and support, so we can make sure that we have our studio setups just as much as we need to. And it sounds like the next pick is in.
With the second pick of the draft, the Jets select David Bailey, edge.
Oh,
Texas Tech.
Who said they was going somewhere else? Somebody said that they was picking somebody else.
I actually did.
I think
I didn't. Well,
Jim, you were the only one who said.
Originally, I didn't. I had Reese as well, and then when I redid the mock draft, I went Bailey. I had Arvell Reese originally. There, not sure if you people can see it out there, but those are our picks with the consensus all the way to the right hand side. Gentlemen, is this the pick for the Jets?
I think so. Yeah. It's gonna be an edge. I think they're close between Reese and Bailey. But I think they lean into the more experienced, the more polished Bailey. Reese is still a edge rush in progress. He played off ball linebacker at Ohio State, and last year he switched over to edge. So I think this is the pick for them if they want that defense to immediately go to another level. If they're banking on upside, then the pick will be Reese. But I'm going with Bailey too. I think that's their pick.
JB.
Yeah, I definitely think it can be a toss up between the two, Reese and Bailey. But Bailey is definitely a good pick and a good fit for that Jets scheme. But this pick can definitely be a toss up between those two and they can't go wrong with either pick because whoever they bring into the building at that point at this point with these two will be an immediate they'll set an immediate edge as it were and just put some attitude in the locker room as it was. So, but I think David Bailey would be a good pick right here.
Do we believe, regardless of who they select, won't really have that big of an impact on that particular Jets team coming into the season?
I think if the pick is Bailey, the impact will be bigger than Reese. Reese is like I said, he's a work in progress. He only played edge the last season for Ohio State. He was an off-ball linebacker his entire collegiate career up until last season. But he has the upside. He has the athleticism. He has the upside to eventually be the man if he keeps progressing the way he has.
So I'll ask this question: why not Arvell Reese?
Because Bailey is the more polished prospect at this point, and the Jets need. I mean, that defense. So you put pressure on the quarterback, that's going to create turnovers. Them jokers didn't have not one interception last year. Not one.
Terrible.
So you get pressure on the quarterback, that's when you're going to get, that's how you get turnovers. Bailey is the more and it's just because Bailey is the more polished prospect. And no other reason. It's no knock on Reese at all. I think he's going to eventually flourish. I think he will. But the Jets, they need immediate satisfaction on that defense.
JB, agree?
Right? Yeah, they do. They need immediate something on their defense because, like Flex said, they did not have a single interception all year last year, and this is coming from a head coach who was a cornerback and was in the secondary and was a secondary coach. So that's definitely go be a knock on him, and he's gonna take that hit because you're a secondary coach and your secondary is not producing. Your defense isn't producing. So they need to do something to bring a better identity to that defense, and Bailey will bring a tougher identity to that defense and help them take a step in the right direction.
Is it cold where you're at?
Yeah, man. It's always cold.
You look cold.
It's always cold, baby.
Is Aaron Glenn coaching for his job this year?
I hope not. I hope not. Because this is only second season, right?
We're talking about a former cornerback whose defense could not get one interception, like you said. That's not a good look, right?
It's not at all. And I want to say that he's not coaching for his job, but we all know that he is. We all know if he don't produce results this year, by the time week 9 or 10 get here, he go be looking to be out the door. Oh, well, look at that.
So yeah, the third pick is in, and we are going to throw it up because if it's not David Bailey, it was the other guy, Arvell Reese. The Cardinals select third overall, edge from Ohio State. I had the tackle from Miami. I believe that they need an offensive lineman to shore up that offensive line that was abused as well. But there's nothing wrong with this pick either, because the Cardinals need as much help as they can get in every position pretty much. other than tight end because McBride is top 5. But outside of that, gentlemen, Arvell Reese, talk to me about him.
I want to talk about this Cardinals pick first. This is for me the wild card in the first round because they could go offensive tackle. I wouldn't be surprised. They can go Jeremiah Love. I wouldn't be surprised. They can trade out of 3, and I wouldn't be surprised. I think we were talking about it a little bit earlier. That the Cowboys are looking to trade up possibly for Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, one of the elite defenders, because that defense needs help too. If they package 12 and 20 to trade up to 3, the Cardinals can get an offensive tackle at 12, and then wouldn't have to trade back into the first round. They're at 20 to in range to get Ty Simpson. The Arvell Reese, I like it. Again, he's a work in progress as an edge, but the dude is like oozing with upside. So I like that pick for him, for them, and I like that pick because they stayed away from the guy that I want to go next.
JB, talk to me. That you made this pick as well. Is this the pick to make?
Let me tell you, I actually did not pick Arvell Reese. I don't think for this pick. Well, I picked Arvell Reese for the last one. The Cardinals are very peculiar, like Fleck was saying. That it's so many different directions they can go with this pick because of so many different needs that they actually have, and trading back for a couple of other picks, or trading back in for another pick. They it's so much they need to just settle right here on an edge. Yeah, they need people on defense, but they need folks on offense too. They need help for Marvin Harrison out there. They definitely need a running back, so I can see them taking Love at this point at the same time to
But do they? They signed Tyler Algier this offseason.
And
Okay,
they still got James Conner.
Okay, James Conner who is coming off injury. Tyler Algier, who is an elder statesman, or Jeremiah Love.
An elder statesman?
In running back years?
He's in like his 4th season now.
Algier?
Yeah.
Still though. You got him, or you can take Jeremiah Love. I know you want Jeremiah Love to drop to you. And I know you said you need some love, and I don't know why, because M is always there. And I know you get
whoa. Whoa.
I know that the love is coming for you, but it may be they and don't get me wrong. I like the fit for Jeremiah Love going to the Tennessee Titans.
We ain't there yet.
But he what?
Well, I'll take this one step further from what you literally just said, JB. The analysts, the Mel Kiper Juniors, the Todd McShays, they said he can drop all the way to the Commanders at 7. So Jeremiah Love. So it's not automatic that Tennessee even goes running back, because they do have Pollard and still got who's the back? They still got Spears.
Yeah,
they got Spears.
So it's not automatic for the same reason the Cardinals don't need Love, because they got Conner and Algier. But what do I know? They're also saying that he can fall to 5, where the Giants have 2 starting running backs. So what the heck do we know? We're not. Again, this is going to be one of those drafts that anybody can go anywhere.
Right. And in the top 10, is it really a bad choice to take a running back? Unless you have like a Jahmyr Gibbs or
and that's what they're projecting Love to be. Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson type.
Right. So unless you have one of them already in your backfield, is it a bad choice to pick him up?
I don't know, man. The kid's good. I'm not just saying that he's from Notre Dame, but we are not there yet. As the chef ruler is logging on, there he is, the chef himself.
Why is his mouth open?
He's going to assist us with some analyst while he has some phone calls. So mind you, he'll be coming in and out as well.
I think he's having some technical difficulties.
So yeah, that just happened, and the fourth pick is in,
Ooh.
and it looks like the Tennessee Titans select Jeremiah Love.
Oh
running
my!
back,
What a surprise!
Notre Dame.
Such a surprise. I didn't see it coming.
If I'm the GM and that is the actual scenario on draft day, I'm running to the podium with it. But I wouldn't be surprised if they traded out of 4. I wouldn't be surprised because of Salah on that looking for defensive impact, and Reese and Bailey are both off the board now.
Okay, with that being said, I'll go right back to you. Who's the next defensive player off the board if you're Tennessee? Defensive player.
I don't think any of them are worth 4.
You're not hearing me. I said if you're Salah and he wants a defensive guy, not you.
Right, at 4. And that's what I'm saying. At 4, I don't think the value is there. That's what I'm saying. I'm answering your question. I'm just not giving you the answer you want, maybe.
Yeah. Salah's gonna look for a linebacker. He likes to develop linebacker.
Tony Styles, maybe. I guess Styles, maybe.
I'm just saying it's got to be something, because you did mention you opened that window saying Salah at 4.
Yeah, with Reese and Bailey gone.
Now, what I will tell you,
I can see them trading out. That's what I said.
Now,
unless they go out to Sony Styles.
What I will tell you, I know Salah likes cornerbacks too, and somebody he would definitely take a look at is that corner out of LSU. Mansour.
They spent too much money in the offseason on corners.
I'm just telling you.
They just need depth pieces now at corner. They spent too much. I'm just saying they spent too much money at corner this offseason.
This offseason. No, I get it. I hear everything
you're saying. Got Plot out of New York, and then they went and got Alontae Taylor out of New Orleans. So they spent too much money this offseason on corners to draft a corner at 4.
If you can take,
I'm not saying that they won't take one, later in the draft, but at 4, I don't see them.
You can find a better alternative than Alontae Taylor, who is trash.
I mean, they spent the money on him. I'm not saying he's going to be any good. I'm just saying they spent the money on him.
They did spend the money on him, which was just crazy to me. But they get paid to do this, so obviously they knew a little bit more than I did about his skills. All I know is I've seen what he can do, and he can't do nothing.
I think the chef is saving his opinions for pick number 14 when the Ravens come up on the board.
The chef looked like his situation is broke over there.
Yeah, he's having some technical issues. Like myself, I had to pull my mic. I'm using my computer mic, so I don't know if I sound any different, but
I don't know.
That's what I decided to do. So this has to be the pick for Tennessee. Will you be surprised if they decide to go wide receiver and Carnell Tate here?
At 4, yes, I would. I would definitely be surprised.
You got to get
it's either young quarterback from help. If they go offense, it's Jeremiah Love or bust. Otherwise, it's going to be a defensive pick, or they're going to trade out.
Or how about offensive line? Why not that kid from Miami?
Because they got Latham and Dan Moore eating up the money at tackle. Okay. Now, next offseason, if Dan Moore don't get his crap together, I could definitely see them looking offensive tackle next year. But this year at 4, no.
Oh, that's why you get paid to be a Tennessee Titans fan.
Oh, you get paid.
Just saying. I don't blame anybody for Jeremiah Love. Hell, I'll leave it up to me. I'll take him first overall. A lot of people have. Well, after Mendoza, of course. So it's going to be interesting where he falls. I don't think many teams are going to pass him up. They fall.
Yeah, he definitely won't fall past 7. I think the Commanders is his floor.
Yes, I heard you the first time.
They called you twice. Oh my goodness!
Well, because the Giants have 2 picks. See what happened there?
I was about to say
We got to make it work somehow.
They being
the
real.
New York Giants select Sonny Styles, linebacker, Ohio
Sonny Styles.
I wasn't. I was. How can I put this? It was tough for me to do the top 5 picks, trying to be biased. Obviously, the Giants don't need defensive line help, so I was hoping Arvell Reese would probably drop down to 5, with the Cardinals picking up Munguia from Miami. Yes, sir.
You said that they don't need defensive line help, so you were hoping Reese was going to drop. They played the same position at Ohio State.
No. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said originally. But then I was like, they don't need defensive line help. They need linebacker help. They need secondary help. They don't need. If you look at what I picked up Sonny Styles as well. It wasn't originally I had Arvell Reese, and I changed my pick because Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau and Abdul Carter got that defensive line, so there's no room for Arvell Reese. Again,
Thibodeau not going nowhere.
I don't know about that.
They already said they backing off of that trade, and they go pay him. He go play on that his 5th-year option since they traded what you call it, that D tackle. I don't know none of y'all players' names.
Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, that guy.
Well, here linebacker Sonny Styles makes a lot of sense.
I tell you what, that name definitely fits a New York Giant, sort of like Tommy DeVito. It seems like he fits the Giant lifestyle so well.
Well, I don't know about Tommy Cutlets, but he got the Super Bowl before anybody else from the Giants did. So granted, he didn't play, but hey, getting there is half the battle.
Y'all about to get y'all favorite wide receiver back, so it's all good.
Talk to me, Fleck. Is this the move to make for the Giants?
That's the move I had them making. I think this could be another spot where I think Dallas at 3 or 4 could jump up to select Sonny Styles, but I like the fit with him, Brian Burns, and you know what I'm saying, in that little rotation. That dude is athletic as fuck, so and he can drop into coverage too.
The phone if you're Giants GM
for Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Right,
I don't think they try to help Dallas.
You already got 2 top 10 picks.
Right, but I don't think they answer the phone for Dallas to make a trade with them.
So that has to be the pick to make. So that's kind
I
of.
had them going safety at this point just to show up that secondary a little bit.
You're not wrong. Caleb Downs is an animal in itself.
That's who I had them originally selecting, but then once they got the second top 10 pick, it's like, okay, if they want, they're gonna have to go get that linebacker at 5 so that they can, we'll talk about 10 when we get to 10. But
no, I agree with all of the above. I really do.
Who's at the door? Who's at the door?
Cleveland Browns here literally can go anywhere. Right at 6, they can go Carnell Tate, they can go Caleb Downs, they can go Munguia, they can go pretty much anywhere. So talk to me. Well, this is the pick that we made. I'll show that first. With the 6th pick of the 2026 draft, the Browns select Francis Mauigoa, offensive tackle, Miami.
but you can't say Giannis.
I like that. I like that pick for them. They have to help that offense.
I pronounced every letter that was spelled.
Whether it's going to be Shador or Dylan Gabriel, they gotta help. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, I can see them
Deshaun
going.
Watson starting week 1.
Huh?
Deshaun Watson start week 1.
Yeah. Whether it's Shador or Dylan Gabriel, they gotta help them. So I can see them going, like you said, I can see them going receive. I think that at pick 6 it's going to be offense or trade. I can see them trading down too.
They already have another pick later on. So
Well, they do, but this is another pivot spot where I can see them trading now for Dallas wanting to come up for maybe Caleb Downs.
I see that. I definitely see them taking the offensive tackle right here to make sure that they protecting who's ever taking snaps. I know the new head coach already came out and said that everybody's competing for QB1. So whoever is going to be QB1 is going to need protection. So
I did not have Marigoa here. Reason being because I already had him drafted before it gets to 7. So Browns need as much. You're still frozen, Chef. He's going to need as much help as he can get. So we'll see.
Log back in.
We can hear you.
Okay, give me a second.
Yeah, we can hear you. Your screen's just frozen.
coming in all his deep-voiced, deep-throated vigor.
Whoa.
Not deep throat vigor. I'm pretty sure there's a movie made somewhere.
Oh my!
That's what that's called.
I paused myself on that one.
That's why you dressed like that. Never mind. We're moving on.
Whoa, sir.
We are moving on.
What is happening here?
Wait a second. It just went off the rails so fast. Who's calling? Is it the Washington Commanders?
The Commanders here, the experts got Jeremiah Love falling all the way to 7, right? We obviously don't expect that to happen. We got the Condiments needing as much help as they can get. And with that, they select Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State.
Yes.
Forming a formidable 1-2 with Scary Terry, assuming he even stays in Washington, because there's still reports that he wants to go, but I think they'll pay him eventually.
They already down one. They're down one.
Are we applauding it?
Okay.
We applauded the pick, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, they down one receiver because they did not and have not as of yet re-signed Deebo Samuel. I know they holding out all hope that they go get Brandon Ayuk, which
I don't think they even want Deebo Samuel for me.
They don't. They looking. They trying to play the waiting game and waiting for Brandon Ayuk to be released. So Carnell Tate is a big pickup right there for to help them out and get in there and do what needs to be done while they continue to wait on Ayuk, who they will eventually have suiting up next to his good friend Jaden Daniels.
I think with this one I had Caleb Downs, but Carnell Tate is an excellent pick too. So, like y'all said, they do need that receiver opposite McLaurin to take some of the pressure off of him and to give Jaden McDaniels as many weapons as possible.
Good wide receivers come out of Ohio State, so.
That is Ohio State wide receiver university, as I like to call it, wide receiver U, Ohio State. So it's definitely intriguing. Welcome to the show, Chef.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good evening.
What is going on? Are you connecting from Madagascar,
You might as
Bolivia, or Egypt?
because it's flooding like crazy here. So
I ain't gonna tell you what was said about you
I don't care.
and your vigor.
No, you're the only one that we have to worry about the vigor.
That part.
Producer.
That part.
Him and his deep-throated vigor.
I smell hate coming off of that one.
You just
All right then.
I don't know what the heck is going on with the background.
We got a whole lot of sounds
Well,
happening.
this was intriguing because JB Saints select Caleb Downs, safety, Ohio State. JB, talk to me about this pick. Saints
Who
select
Saints?
safety, Caleb Downs.
Who Saints?
I am pretty sure I can read. It says it even says apostrophe S, so it's possessive.
I know. That's why I say who's Saints.
I believe that's-
They
I
don't
believe
have
that's
no team
yours.
called the Saints. Never did. But they do, in fact, need help in the secondary because that secondary, they plan on trying to do anything in this season. They need help on defense. They need to cause some turnovers. They need to get real aggressive because the rest of the teams in the NFC South have weapons on the outside that they like to fly up and down the field. So if they don't have nobody that can compete with that, then they not gonna make no noise. So this is a good pick for the Saints for picking right where they at, and I do think that he'll undoubtedly make that defense better.
Chef, talk to me. Just pick. You had Makai Lemon, right? That's his name, Michael Makai.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You had him here, but is this pick Caleb Downs?
If Caleb Downs is going to be available at this point, there's no question that he's not going to make it past them. I don't think.
All right.
You can't let that guy pass. He's a Swiss Army knife on defense. Like you can line him up almost anywhere, and get results. Hard-nosed kid, tough, has great knowledge of the game, and it'll be a great pickup for the Saints if they can pick him up there.
I'd like to point out I actually had the Saints picking C.J. Allen at this point.
That was going to be my next question. That was literally my next question, sir, because I made sure I highlighted that on my phone here. Why Allen when there was other linebackers? Why Allen? Because he went to Georgia?
I think he most for the Saints. I think he most closely resembles Demario Davis for that system that the Saints are playing.
But that dude is like he has like a second round grade. Like why at 8?
I get what you're saying. I just know who
I got him going.
We're dealing with here in Mickey Loomis.
I don't even have him in the first round.
I get you. I'm listening to the chatter that they got going on down here, and who Mickey Loomis is real high on, and that name came up on the list. I'm telling you, I don't know why.
I had him all the way at the end of the first.
Yeah,
I had the Saints picking Cardinal Tate here.
I did too. This is where we started going every which way. Obviously, we had a couple picks off, couple teams here and there for the most part, but the tiebreaker was the team needs / mock draft / I did a lot of work today on what we actually had to go with. Okay, I hear you.
Tell Goodell, sit down.
So it's going to be intriguing with the Saints because the Saints also they need a lot of people. They got a lot of holes to fill. So safety is definitely, especially Caleb Downs falling to them at what? This is what 10. So that's a big deal.
No, that's 8.
They're 8. Sorry, they're 8. But yeah, it's going to be intriguing. The Saints. That's a good pickup if he falls to the Saints at 8. This one was a little bit different for me, but the Chiefs picked Ruben Bain Jr. Edge Miami, and I don't know why they want to put Rashee Rice next to Ruben Bain. Maybe they can go street racing together and on the off season. I definitely did not have Ruben Bain Jr. here. Fleck, talk to me. Why did you select?
because they had no pass rush, and he was the best pass rush, best edge that was left available. I mean, and if you look at 95% of the mocks that are out right now, that is like one, like outside of Mendoza to the Raiders, that's like 95%. Everybody's saying Ruben Bain to the Chiefs.
I don't know. I think when they traded McDuffie, that was them opening the door to the best possible cornerback.
I could see that too.
So that's why I selected Delane. But
I just had them getting their corner
yeah,
later.
JB, you this is one of those that you selected as well. That's why the consensus was to pick him here. Ruben Bain Jr. going to Kansas City. Talk to me on why you selected him here.
I mean, I'm right there in line with what Flex said, that they were getting zero pressure. Everybody knows this game is one in the trenches, and defense wins championships. And the one thing you need on defense is trenches. So if you not getting to the quarterback, then you're not gonna make it to where you need to be. And if they still trying to compete in the West and still trying to maximize on what they have in Patrick Mahomes in the last year of Mr. Taylor Swift, I think they need to shore up that defense and make sure everything gets good.
I'm not against his talent. I'm not, but at a certain point, you got to worry about personalities, and I just he worries me if I'm drafting him. I had him falling down just a little bit, just a little bit. We did have a trade come in a couple of days ago. So instead of the Cincinnati Bengals picking at 10, the New Jersey Giants are on the board, and they quickly selected theirs. Yes, we're good. The consensus was they're going wide receiver, and Jordan Tyson is the selection here, not Lemon. Why not Lemon from USC, and why Tyson from Arizona State?
Who you asking?
I wasn't sure who was going to say.
Well, I'm not asking the chef because he has Lemon ranked a little bit higher. So I'll go with you, Fleck. Why Tyson over Lemon?
Because you already got Malik Neighbors, who's on the shorter side. I figured y'all could use a little more height at receiver, which is why I went Jordan Tyson. I mean, that was literally it for me. It was, you know what I'm saying? I think Lemon is listed at like 5'11".
Yeah.
And Jordan Tyson is like
6'3", 6'4", something like that.
Yeah, I think he's 6'4".
And he's got speed. He's fast. He got great hands, and he runs a great amount of routes off the route tree. He'd be a great complement to Malik Neighbors. Help open up that offense. So yeah.
So outside of the reports and the Giants publicly being high on Jordan Tyson, are they locked in on wide receiver? Why not go cornerback? Why not go safety?
Who, your Giants?
Yeah.
You tell us.
Why does it have to be a wide receiver here?
You want to get Jackson Dart as many weapons as possible, right?
Yeah.
You want to give that man a chance to succeed.
Well, losing Wan'Dale Robinson was huge. Yes, I'll agree that you want to replace that 1,000-yard receiver. It's crazy that he was a 1,000-yard receiver. This is going to be a run team first, though. This is going to be a run option first. I think a lot of the times it was lost on that fourth quarter and that defense. I'm defensive minded if I'm the Giants, if I'm being honest. Jordan Tyson is a great talent, don't get me wrong, but I think Julian Hyatt stepped up towards the end of the year. Why not allow him to be a number 2? Isaiah Hodgins was a good receiving, good possession, not blazing speed or whatever, but I think the Giants failed in that fourth quarter last year. They need to be focused on their defense. But it is what it is. We are moving on to number 11, where Miami is on the clock. And Miami definitely had an intriguing off season thus far. Got rid of everybody but Devon Achane. And Achane is trying to get rid of himself as we speak. So it's going to be another team that literally needs everything. And that pick is in, and they decided to call JB up and said, hey, can we get that LSU cornerback from y'all? Mansour Delaney,
Bring him in.
cornerback, LSU with the 11th pick. Is this the pick to have? Talk to me, JB.
At this point with Miami, with the dumpster fire it is, you need as many fire extinguishers as you can possibly get, and he's gonna come in with at least a part of a fire extinguisher to try to put something out on their defense. They definitely need a whole lot more to get things in going in the right direction, but he will be a good pickup right here and to go for years to come. Now that's not to say that they can't go a lot of different directions, but this is a good jumping point right now.
Chef?
Yeah, I had picked the safety from Oregon, Thieneman. Is that how you say his name? I don't know. Anyway,
Thieneman,
I picked him, but I mean,
you got McCoy written down here.
do I have McCoy?
No, sorry, I'm looking at the next pick.
No, that's the next one coming up.
Yes, you did. You did have Thieneman. So Fleck and JB had Delaney. No, you had Freeling.
Hold on, so let's go back.
Monroe Freely?
Yeah, you had Freeling here from Miami. Chef?
You said Freeling?
Yeah.
That
had to be addressing needs that they had. So
I don't think anybody else even had him. Yeah.
Yeah,
I had him a couple picks later.
Yeah, I had him at 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a needs pick, I'm sure.
Yeah, you typed in Freeling. So Delaney was selected here because Fleck and JB selected Delaney. Fleck, talk to me. Top corner.
Because this is their list of cornerbacks. Alex Austin, Daryl Baker, Miles Battle, Ethan Bonner, Juju Brents, Storm Duck, AJ Green III, Isaiah Johnson, Jason Matery, Jason Marshall, Ethan Robinson, Marco Wilson. Do any of those names strike any type of fear in you? Have you heard of any of those names?
At this point, they could have
the drum line.
Have you heard any of those names?
None.
At this point, they could have JB, Fleck, Mr. All Sports Matter. The ruler is here, and it still be the same results.
Exactly. So while it is, they're going to have to get Malik Willis some playmakers on that other side. That defense. That corner that is specifically that cornerback room is lacking. So I gave them my top rated corner, which was Delaney.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I had Delaney going to Kansas City, 2 picks before that, so I'm high on Delaney as well. So obviously if he falls there, it's a must-have for Miami. Here next is where the show may begin, because there's literally no telling what Jerry Jones be thinking. It could be anywhere from Todd Simpson all the way to Tony the Tiger. We have no idea what he's going to be selected by the Dallas Cowboys, and we will give the people a couple seconds to adjust, because they can easily just call up Albert Hainsworth and be like, "Hey, you got another season in you, big dog? We'll draft you." Because there's no telling what Jerry Jones may do, but yeah, did agree that.
You want the drum roll?
Sure.
Y'all are terrible.
he probably started dancing when he heard it in that locker room, knowing Jerry. They select cornerback Jermod McCoy, Tennessee. Briefly, I had Reuben Bain falling here, and the Cowboys picking up the troublemaker. But I don't see anything wrong picking up the cornerback, seeing as they let Diggs go, and those brothers are having a hard time in life right now. We're not going to get into that, but talk to me about Jermod McCoy, Fleck.
They did go out and get Kobe Durant from the Rams. The Cowboys did. But I think I could see them using 12 and 20 on secondary players. As a matter of fact, I think in my personal mock, I did have them selecting 2 secondary players. That secondary sucks in Dallas. I mean, it's terrible.
I agree.
I think, you know what I'm saying, you can find a decent edge to pair with, and I'm not even going to try to jack up his name. The boy out of Boston College that they drafted a couple of years ago, Ezaraku.
Mm-hmm.
Who played pretty decently. They do, so I think that edge, you know, can wait. But that secondary is terrible. In the words of Charles Barkley, they're terrible.
Exactly.
So I had them drafting because we're not projecting trades. Because if we were projecting trades, I think Dallas is the prime candidate to package 12 and 20 to move up for a Caleb Downs or, you know, one of the elite for a Sony Styles type player. But since we're not, I had them taking a McCoy because, again, that secondary was terrible in Dallas.
JB?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you know, like y'all both said, you know, that the secondary was terrible. They stayed hurt. They let go of Diggs and need to have a replacement because, like it or not, Diggs was he was an all or nothing type player. Either he got the interception or he got burnt. But they had him there. He was getting hurt. They decided to move on, but they needed to bring somebody else in to replace that. And if you're trying to get your defense going, you want to have some good coverage on the outside and down the field so that it'll allow your defensive line and your linebackers to do something to get to the quarterback and to get those coverage sacks. So starting with the cornerback and then moving your way around to replacing a Micah Parsons, because you never really can do that, but to replace that and to get all those other pieces in place would help. But starting with McCoy out on the outside, I think that's gonna help a lot.
Yeah, I personally don't know much about McCoy. My TV doesn't get SEC games, so.
Well, you're an SEC country. Stop it.
Oh man. What I do know about Tennessee is both of the corners are going first round.
Oh yeah.
Both of the corners are going first round. They're very talented. So the Cowboys are one of those teams that they literally could pick anybody. They need all the help they can get, I believe. So we haven't selected what's the kid's name? Makai Lemon yet.
And you have to keep in mind too that McCoy is coming off of an ACL injury, which limited him from, you know, the testing circuit this offseason. So, but I still think that the talent is there and the value at 12 is good for the Cowboys to select.
Oh yeah.
Oh hell, if he's hurt, take the year off. Definitely, Cowboys go get him.
Sweet spot.
Either way, the Rams are next on the board. Put it on the board. And with the, I believe it's 12th pick, 13th pick. 13th pick, the LA Rams, who hasn't picked in the first round in years, right?
Years. Since they got Stafford.
Rams select offensive tackle Spencer Fano, Utah. Utah had a whole big old line.
They did.
Didn't they, right?
They
I saw a
definitely did.
bunch of different names coming off the board, all being tied to Utah. They might not have won any games, but the quarterback's uniform was clean. But either way,
But the Rams did have a first round pick in 2024 because they took Jared Verse.
good pick. That one worked out for the Rams. Talk to me about offensive. Rams need offensive line. Period.
This is why I had Malachi Lemon going. Devontae Adams is getting long in the tooth. This is why I had him going.
I think they're gonna get rid of Devontae Adams when the season starts. If I'm being honest.
I picked Spencer Fanu to go to Utah because
To go to Utah?
Because he was already there.
from Utah to go to the Rams because you got a quarterback that's long in the tooth with a bad back, and he'll need as much protection as he can get.
Everybody picked Funnel but me.
But that I'm just telling you why I picked him. But
Gotcha.
they definitely need to shore up that offensive line.
Somebody to watch Stafford's backside.
Yeah, and you couldn't go wrong with either of the tackles coming out of Utah, which both of them are going in the first round. You couldn't go bad with either one of them. So I think Fano, the bloodline member, he definitely graded higher on everything than Lomu did. But I think either way you go, one of those guys are going to be great when they get to playing on Sundays, or both of them are.
No, I definitely agree. I should like the Spencer Fano here. That Rams team, that offensive line needs as much help, not only for Matthew Stafford, but for that running game. The running game was they had to make some guys miss, and they don't have size when it comes to the running back. So they need as much holes as possible, and they're going to have to do something because I'm trying to buy my time here because this next name is kicking my ass. We'll have to do something. But either way, definitely Utah has some offensive linemen. Rams need offensive linemen as well. So I look forward to who the Rams select in the first round. We barely, see them when it comes to the first round. So I look forward to it's definitely going to be intriguing. But the Ravens, and the chef is not here, unfortunately, to make his pick for the team. But the pick is in. It only took me forever to type it up, if I'm being honest with you guys. And the Rams select Olave Vega.
Olave Vega.
That's his first name. That's only the first name. Olave Vega.
Inione.
Oh yeah, that guy. Guard. Penn State. Another bloodline member.
Yes. We the ones.
So as I look across the board, two of us had this pick, and this is why I wrote them down myself. And Fleck. Why Leoni Babega? Talk to me about this dude.
Because for me, they lost. What was the center to the Raiders? Linderbaum. And this guy can play guard and center. So top rated guard on the board, top rated center on the board. They need guards, they need centers. They could put him anywhere on that line, and they're gonna benefit from it. So for me, that was the reason why I picked him to go to the Ravens, because they lost Linderbaum and their guard situation. Looking at the roster, their guard situation is not the best.
JB, you had a wide receiver for the Ravens.
I did.
Talk to me about team needs when it comes to the Ravens, since the chef is not here.
I did have Mekhi Lemon going to the Ravens. I do think that they could use a younger wide receiver to come in there and infuse that wide receiver room with some young energy, and to try to get them over the hump. You know, you got older, talented folks in the room, which and it isn't taking nothing away from them because they are still talented enough to be in the National Football League. But you know, at some point you need to start bringing in this younger talent, and the Ravens could definitely use an infusion of younger talent on the offensive side and giving some other weapons to Lamar Jackson. Now that's not they got a new offensive coordinator. So I was about to say that's not to say that they're not going to run Lamar Jackson into the ground, but they got somebody else that's calling plays. So I feel like they're going to use Lamar Jackson's arm a lot more this season, and he's going to need some other people to kind of throw it to that's not going to do dumb things when
I got that thing the first time I did 3 different mocks. One after the Giants made their trade, but I had a wide receiver originally for the Ravens as well. Third time I went through, I believe it was more of Lamar Jackson needs to stay on his feet as much as possible. And that's why I decided to go with the offensive line because there was no time.
You don't lose a player the caliber of Linderbaum and just not replace him. So why not replace him with the best?
Don't get me wrong, that's not a bad pick,
offensive lineman in the draft.
That's not a bad pick. Don't get me wrong.
No, even at this point, if a top-rated offensive lineman is not available, nothing wrong with Kyle Lemon. It's really not. It's just we're trying to sustain that offense more. You know what I'm saying? Weapons come and go. They still got King Henry, so you want to have that line. So, you know, to build up that hole for that future Hall of Famer that's Derrick Henry. So it was – it can go either way. You're not wrong with the wide receiver. They do need a wide receiver. I wish the
chef
was here because why not trade for Devontae Adams if he's available, or A.J. Brown, seeing as A.J. Brown is allegedly locked into just the Patriots. So I just thought that was,
you know,
that was intriguing in itself.
So you want to go back to Tennessee?
He's going back to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, anything's possible. You know, anything's possible when it comes. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the clock, and 2 of us chose Kenyon Sadiq, tight end of Oregon, here. So I just went with the majority. I really thought they need a lot of help, because the Bucs do. As they get younger and the era of Mike Evans is gone, another weapon is definitely going to be needed for Egbuka, right? I said that right? Yep. So as he moves into the number 1 slot, not saying that Cade Otton wasn't formidable, but he kind of just disappeared last year.
But this kid, he's going to give you more than what Otton's going to give you. Like, he's going to give you that Mike Evans red zone production, because that's the type of jump ball player that he was for Oregon, at least anyway. He wasn't your traditional inline tight end. He was, you know, think more like a Kyle Pitts type, where you can line him up anywhere and he can run, you know what I'm saying, from the traditional tight end spot to either of the outside receiver spots. Like, that's the type of player you're getting with Sadiq.
I wouldn't use Kyle Pitts, considering his career really hasn't.
Well, see, you're getting too caught up. You're getting too caught up in the production. I'm saying the type where Kyle Pitts can move from receiver to tight end.
Maybe use a Jimmy Graham. Well, we've seen it,
but he has more. But I went Kyle Pitts because Sadiq has that type of speed, that type of athleticism. Jimmy Graham was a little bit more rugged. He wasn't a beat you with his speed type kid. Sadiq can beat you with his speed, is what I'm saying. I think the dude ran like a 4.46 or a 4.36 at the combine.
JB, indulge us and tell us your mindset with the Bucs, like David Bailey here. help me help you. Tell me, how does David Bailey fall all the way to 16?
First of all, sir,
Because
in
he
my
has
mind,
bigger.
this is. Well, let me take these off for a second. In my mind, this is what they needed at the time. Now, does he? I don't believe Bailey's gonna fall out of the top 5, but if for whatever reason it was to happen, this would be the perfect spot for him to land in. Because
If he was to fall out of top 5, Dallas, he ain't getting past Dallas at 12.
I'm tired of you. That wasn't me, y'all. I just want to point out the producer did not do that at that point. But yeah, nah, I was, first of all, I was bullied into doing this mock draft as quickly as I did. So I didn't do the research because I was at work. I was bullied. I ain't gonna tell y'all who did it. Just know that.
How were you bullied when we gave you more than enough time?
It was red or orange.
It's not our fault that you waited until the last minute.
Yeah, was red. See, he's doing it again. But I'm not gonna name names. Just know that he's a bully.
You chose the last second to do it.
You're a bully, sir. That's all I'm saying.
You had 2 weeks to do it.
What?
You had 2 weeks to do it. You chose the last minute to do it.
What? When did that? What? What? No.
I don't know what part you're not understanding.
I don't know where this 2 weeks come from. Nobody told me anything. Did y'all have a meeting without me? Did y'all have a production meeting and not tell me?
Not at all.
Did you read your text?
No. It was too far up.
Then there you go.
It's too much scrolling, man. Y'all, it's too much. It's too much.
Either
way,
it is when it's we discussed this multiple times. We are going to move on.
Man, I'm on set most of the time, man.
And we are halfway through a pick number 16. And here's the first wrench, just because I wanted to be funny. And one person did make this, and I was like, you know what? Why the hell not? Because the Jets are the Jets. I actually got to take this off the board. The Jets select. Jets are on the clock. Excuse me.
Did you put Buka select and not Buccaneers?
Huh?
Nothing. It was the last thing.
Huh?
The New York Jets select quarterback Ty Simpson at 16. Can we be honest? This is not so far-fetched.
This lines up so well with what the Jets do.
Yeah.
It just lines up so well with it.
Can we just discuss that this is very possible and much needed for the Jets, even though it's out of out of ordinary. They probably could have got him later, trade back in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
It's very on brand.
They need a quarterback over there. They signed Geno Smith.
They traded for Geno Smith. They didn't sign him.
They got Geno Smith.
I don't think they have to be in a rush though. Like I know we were talking about the scenario where they could trade back into the first round to get Tyson, but I don't think they have to be in a rush because they got 3 first-round picks next year. So what if they suck this year?
That's their mindset every year.
I think they could still, if I'm them, I'm gonna take as many. I'm gonna build for next year. I'm gonna build for my quarterback that I'm selecting next year. So I'm gonna go get a receiver. I'm gonna go build up that line. But that's just me. I think I had them selecting a receiver. I can't remember which one.
You had him Cooper Jr. And I think I
okay, yeah, Cooper Jr. out of Indiana.
Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, we all selected a wide receiver, but Chef had Ty Simpson. I figured, why the hell not? Because it does sound like the Jets will make a move as such, selecting Ty Simpson.
Sounds like something they would do.
I was about to say, wait a minute.
It's very on brand.
Chef was the only one that picked Tyson.
I wonder why.
He picked the Alabama guy.
Just saying. But with the Jets needing, there's really only two teams that need a starting quarterback, right? And that's, well, three if you count Simpson and the Raiders, but we're not counting them. We're counting Jets and Cardinals, right? Well, hell, three, Pittsburgh, because Aaron Rodgers once again is holding them hostage.
Still has not talked to them.
In my original mock, that's where I had Ty Simpson going, Pittsburgh at 21. And then he got dropped out altogether.
I hate. That's one of the many reasons why I hate Aaron Rodgers. Quite possibly one of the most talented quarterbacks in the world, but biggest douche ever. But either way, it's not surprising for the Jets. But if they don't select Ty Simpson here, who do they select?
I had them selecting, like I said, a receiver. If I'm them, I'm taking those 3 first-round picks I got next year and worrying about my quarterback of the future. Then when it's supposed to be a better draft for quarterbacks.
Well, the way our draft, and you're right, I'm adding on to what you just said. The way our draft is falling, Mekhi Lemon is available right now.
Yeah, our overall draft, I had him going 13.
No, I'm saying our
Rams. Yeah. Gotcha.
Consolidation draft.
Yeah. I don't understand if he's on the board, how the Jets pass him too. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely understand that. And we are past the halfway point, and we need to pick up the pace here.
Yeah, we do.
Lions are on the clock. Lions select offensive tackle Monroe Freeling.
Yeah.
Much needed.
Monster, yeah. They could put because I'm hearing that they might put Sewell on the left side. So you get Freeling and put him on the right side, let him learn.
That'll be a problem.
But yeah, them boys the Lions aren't missing a lot, you know what I'm saying? Especially on that offense. They're not missing much. So you go out and get a Freeland. That's probably the one spot that they needed a starter at right tackle if you're gonna move, if you plan on moving up Penei Sewell to left tackle.
Yeah, I think we're all in all agreements on this one. You know, Chef had Lomu, which is not a bad pick either, but Monroe is definitely needed. We're just gonna go right on ahead to the next one with the Vikings select safety Dylan Thieneman.
And I think that one is like a consensus among mocks. Like that's another one where, you know, it falls into the Mendoza at 1, Bain at 9.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of mocks that are showing Thieneman going 18 to the Vikings.
Yeah.
And they need that safety help. Harrison Smith he's not young anymore.
Yeah, they definitely need that help over the top. So that's a perfect pick for them.
Moving on to the Carolina Panthers at 19. Two of us picked wide receiver, 2 of y'all picked offensive line. I think because of people that was left, I went with Mekhi Lemon.
Yeah, I just don't see him making it 19.
No, I did, I guess.
I took Omar Cooper right there.
He's definitely talented. I don't see how I don't see how the Jets pass him, obviously.
This is where I had Fano going,
Right.
Spencer Fano going, because otherwise right now your other starter is I think Rasheed Walker is the dude's name, if I can remember off the top of my head. He's the other starter for the Panthers right now at tackle.
Mm.
But do you believe that another star wide receiver next to Ted McMillan is a big deal for Carolina?
I mean, yeah, I can see them, you know what I'm saying, but Jalen Coker kind of showed some promise toward the end of last season. So So he was helping take some of that pressure off of T-Mac.
Right, but you still need a X, Y, and a Z receiver, so you still need that third receiver to
I mean, he hasn't done anything yet, but I mean, you still got Leggett, you still got Mechie's there too.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to trade Leggett right now. He may end up being a draft day trade.
Yeah, but if there's a talent
second or
of
third round.
falling this far, though, you can't. They're just.
Yeah, they're gonna run that card up there if he's there at 19, though. Yeah, I agree with that.
Cowboys select the cornerback here, Avian Terrell of Clemson.
That makes sense. I have them picking 2 cornerbacks in the first round because that's the most Jerry Jones thing that could ever be done.
I had them picking another secondary player. I don't know if Terrell is a first round talent to me, because he's only going to get. He can only play at Clemson. He only played in the slot. I had them taking the safety out of Toledo, McNeil Warren, because they do need secondary help. Like, I'm not knocking, you know what I'm saying, the cornerback part of it, but that particular one, I don't know if he's a first round talent.
The next, we just did
21 with Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh select. Wait, I typed it already. There it is. Jeez. Blake Miller, offensive tackle, Clemson.
And I like that pick. I had them taking a tackle. Also, it was just I had them taking, I think, Proctor out of Alabama.
Right.
So I agree with them. And Blake Miller is him and Proctor are,
right,
graded similar. Yeah. So I wouldn't be mad at that one. But with, like you said earlier, with Aaron Rodgers holding them boys hostage, would they look at Ty Simpson if he's still there?
Right.
It's very possible. I wouldn't blame them if they took him. But
right now they're rolling with Will Howard as their QB1 until Aaron Rodgers makes a decision.
Is that a slap in the face to Will Howard?
Oh my God, it is. I actually had them taking a guard, just the offensive line help that they need. I had them taking Emmanuel Pregnan out of Oregon, which will still help out greatly. So you can't go. I don't think you can go wrong at this point with tackle or guard for Pittsburgh.
Moving on, the Chargers select Akeem, and I misspelled that tremendously. Mesidor.
Oh my!
I like that pick for them. That's another one of the picks that lines up perfectly for them because they need that edge help with Joey Bosa no longer being there.
Yeah, no, and that's the main reason why I selected him as well. One of the E's and R's next to each other. I'm not, typing is not my first language. Here the Eagles. Could it go anywhere? Talk to me about what the Eagles, considering let's imagine them not having AJ Brown, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've lost some players via free agency. What does the Eagles need first? What do they need to address first?
I had them taking edge because they lost Jermaine Phillips to free agency.
This is why I had Proctor going. So I think they need to go offensive line, especially if they want to continue with that tush push.
And survey says Eagles do select Caden Proctor, offensive tackle, Alabama, which I didn't. 2 out of the 4 selected that. That's why he was selected there.
Yeah, but I think but I mean, they still got Lane Johnson and Mailata there, so I don't understand the need for a tackle.
I think Lane Johnson
always say this is their last year.
So you want to start preparing for when he gone.
Lane Johnson is retiring for the last 3 seasons now.
So
yeah, but if you got a chance to take an impact defender though, like to put opposite. All you got right now is a 38-year-old Brandon Graham rushing off the edge. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, you got pushed up the middle with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, but you don't have anything on the edge. which is why I had them selecting Keldrick Falk out of Auburn to help with that edge rush.
All right, and nothing wrong with that at all. At all. The Browns here, we could imagine them selecting eventually a wide receiver. They don't do it the first time around.
And then there were two.
I got Omar Cooper Jr. here.
I think I had them selecting a receiver there also. I think I had them selecting the boy out of Washington. What was it? Denzel Boston.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I agree with that one, which goes back to what I said at 6. They need to put weapons around whoever's going to play quarterback. So, you protect them, you give them a weapon. So I agree with that assessment that a receiver needs to go there.
I definitely agree on that one. Definitely the wide receiver to help out with Jerry Jeudy. The Bears picked Peter Woods, defensive tackle, Clemson, at 25.
Edge and defensive tackle is what that defense was missing last year. So I like that pick. I like that pick for them. They couldn't have went wrong if they would have went edge or defensive tackle. I think I actually had them picking Peter Woods too.
Yes, you did.
So yeah. So they couldn't go wrong with either one of those. So
next on the clock, we got the Buffalo Bills, who I believe pretty much needs everything just as much, if I'm being quite honest. And they select KC Concepcion, wide receiver, Texas A&M. I don't know much about this kid, if I'm being quite honest. I thought they would go defense. I had them going. This is where I had the Georgia linebacker going, Allen, for Buffalo. Because I think the defense is where they kind of just need as much help as possible.
yeah, but at receiver, they got DJ Moore, Shakur, and then that's it, right?
Keon Coleman. They got Keon Coleman.
Yeah, but they're trying to push him out the door. I don't understand why he's not getting. I don't know, what I'm saying, if it's a character issue, but it seems like they're trying to push him out the door.
I don't know. The new GM said no. They want to keep Keon Coleman. So he had a touchdown in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? It's just his work ethic. He's a young kid. They just had to show up to practice. Just like Abdul Carter had to eventually get his ass out of his head out of his ass.
Right.
It's a thing. Here, the 49ers at 27 select offensive tackle from Utah, Caleb Lomu.
I like that pick for them. Of course, the Niner fan hops off just before their pick.
Yeah.
But I like that pick for them. Trent Williams, he did just re-sign 2 years, 2-year, $50 million extension, but he's also 37 years old. So you got to start thinking about life after him. Put this kid over on the right side, because I don't know much about the rest of their offensive tackles. So you put that kid on the right side, let him learn from Trent Williams, eventually be his replacement, maybe.
I'm okay with this. I'm okay with that. You can never go. It's a safe bet. It's a safe pickup. Especially picking at 27. So the Texans here. Me and you both had this pick here. Defensive tackle Caden McDonald, defensive tackle Ohio State University.
I like that. You got Will Anderson. You got Danielle Hunter on coming off the edge. You need somebody that can get push up the middle. So that's why I went Caden McDonald. They didn't have, even though Will Grier and Hunter had great years, imagine how much better it would be if they could get pressure up the middle also.
I agree. This is the pick that I didn't think Colton Hood will fall this far. The Chiefs select Colton Hood, Tennessee. I didn't think he'll fall that far. I think we were going to see him get picked up sooner than 29th.
I mean, there was talks that he could possibly. I don't think he will be, but he could possibly be available in the second round. So for me, the Chiefs, and you mentioned it, losing McDuffie, they need to find a replacement for him, which is why I gave them Colton Hood.
Right. Now, here's where the Dolphins pick defense first, offense later. Denzel Boston, wide receiver out of University of Washington. Right?
I like that pick.
Even just like the Browns, just like the Cardinals, just like the Jets.
Yeah, you got to give Malik Willis somebody, especially losing Jalen Waddle. They have no other receivers in that room that are of note. I think I gave them a guard to protect Malik Willis, but a receiver or a guard, for me, Denzel Boston was already gone. So, and all of the other top receivers are already gone by the time I picked for the Dolphins again. So I pivoted and gave them a lineman. But yeah, I could. They definitely need to get Malik Willis some help, especially with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill both no longer in Miami.
What do you think the Patriots will need now that they're picking 31st?
I gave them an edge. I think I gave them Zion Young out of Missouri. If they can pull off the trade for AJ Brown, you know what I'm saying? I wanted them to pick up a receiver, but I think
I gave them an edge too. I also gave them an edge.
Cardi B.
Yeah, Cardi B over Stephon Diggs. That's an edge because they don't have Stephon Diggs anymore. CJ Allen is the
Yeah, I just don't know enough about that dude to put him in the first round.
CJ Allen out of Georgia.
I think that's all it was for me. I just don't know him like that.
Was the consensus here? And finally, I guess I had deleted it at first, but Keldrick Falk, the edge, will fall to the Seahawks at 32.
And I think I gave them Notre Dame's backup running back.
Right.
He replaced Kenneth Walker.
He's not a first round pick.
I don't know. There's a lot of chatter that he could sneak into the first round or be running back number 2, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? To have the top 2 running backs come from the same school,
and then not make the playoffs. But that's another show. But either way, that is the All Sports Matters podcast 2026 NFL mock draft. Tune in Thursday for the actual NFL draft. We will be back next week with a regular show where we will discuss the draft in itself, and we will discuss how the NBA playoffs are going. Fleck, anything else to close us out?
No, sir. Night 2 of WrestleMania was better than night 1. Night 1 was garbage to me.
Yeah, and I'm about to hop off here and try to catch a little bit of Raw.
Yeah, me too. Eventually.
Yeah.
Gotta get some food in me too.
Yeah, I can smell what the wife is cooking.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, all pun intended. But since our producer is out, like it says, some people like football, baseball, and basketball. Some like hockey, who's in the playoffs. Golf, who just went through the Masters. And what's random sport? Wrestling, who just had the WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? But for us, all sports matters.
Peace out.
Thank you.